When I was 18, my first job, I was working like 50 hours. I was saving up and stuff.
Wait, say it again.
I was working like 50 hours. Within about 6 months, I was able to save up about 10k. And it was like every time I had my paycheck, at a minimum, I put down 1k.
New episode featuring Danielle Coleman, Gabriel Sion, the legend himself, Wes, and me, the backup dancer. Please like, share, subscribe. Wow, look at me, sound like some mad freshie. Like, share, subscribe before you go into the video. By the time this video dropped, we're the past 25k.
Wait, look at this one.
Hey, Wes, for 25k video, you have to put your face in ice bucket of water. You have to, man. Do it for Ashton Hall, man. Just, you know. So for our 25k video, we're gonna have Wes put his face in the ice bucket of water.
Okay, this one.
Let's go viral.
Why mental health?
Why mental health?
Yeah, why?
Straight in. Well, because I used to struggle with mad anxiety. And then when I was younger, I used to watch a lot of prison documentaries. And that helped me understand people. And I did sociology, so I had a like multifaceted view to like people and why they are the way they are. Because I used to think like if someone was bad, they went prison, they need to stay there, they don't need any like benefits or whatever. But then I started to watch Beyond Scared Straight.
Okay.
And then the parents are taking the kids, but then when you hear every kid's story, they've been through a madness, they've been neglected, they've not fully been given a chance. And then as they've still been taken there, no one's really helping them, they're just trying to scare them. So that is what I'll say that was kind of like the catalyst to me starting to look into mental health, looking into at the time I was looking into childhood trauma, because it was like, okay, that's kind of what I'm going through. I'm going through anxiety. So yeah, I started to go down that road.
How old are you?
22.
22.
Yeah.
That's a pretty young age to be getting into mental health, right?
Yeah.
I don't think much people are talking about or dealing with that. So who is Daniela? So break it down to who are you?
Danielle.
So Danielle, apologies.
It's very complicated, but basically, I was born in Holland, grew up in Ghana with my non-biological parents.
Okay.
Yeah, my biological mom gave me to them when I was about 2, and then she was in Holland. She went back to Holland, and then.
Can I ask why? Do you think she done that?
I think.
And how has that affected you?
Therapist Gabs, you know.
It's a lot of different. I think honestly because she knew she couldn't take care of me, but then she was married to her husband when she had me, but her husband is a white man, and then I found out who my biological dad was when I was 13. So before that, I thought the white man, her husband, was my dad.
Even though you're not like Wes.
Yeah, but you know what? Yeah, because.
I'm just sorry.
Wes was about to say something. Wait, you were going to say something.
That's fine.
No, I'm trying to
say something, Wes.
At the age of 13, she didn't kind of clock until she got a bit older, not realising that obviously.
Yeah, so up until I was 13, and the only reason I found out was she took me to one of these pastors.
Okay.
When this time she was back in Ghana, and then he was like, "Oh, do you want to see your dad?" And then she was like, "Oh, the last time she saw her dad, she was 2." And I'm like, okay. And the car ride home, I'm asking, okay, so who's my dad? Then she's like, "Oh, remember when you were younger? I used to show you this man's picture on Facebook, but I don't remember that." So obviously that has happened, but before that, like growing up with my non-biological parents, that was actually like a lesson, because I had no stresses in life. That's how I didn't deep that. How can this white man not be my dad? Like very like privileged childhood, and they were like the foundation that they gave me was grounded within God, helping people, and actually like living within purpose, the way they did things. So those are a lot of things that I kind of took on as well. So within that, there wasn't as much harm done.
Okay.
But then the thing is, my biological mom, it's like she would come and go.
Okay.
So when she comes to Ghana for a bit, I used to go on weekends. And then there was a time where I was in year 2. She came and then she said, she wanted me to start living with her again.
Okay.
So they literally moved me, they changed my school and everything as she's come to move back to Ghana. And then she's like, oh, I'm going to Holland for 2 weeks. 2 months passes by, she's not back.
Yeah.
But then at this time when she leaves me with a different family member that I know them, but it's not like my non-biological parents. So one day I just called and I'm like, can you come pick me up? So it's like this continuous neglect. And then also when it comes to like the initial neglect when I was 2, only because of the research and stuff I've done, is that would have been like the first point of like something traumatic happening, because even from the womb trauma kind of start to affect you as well. And the thing is, throughout like my childhood, there were times where my biological mom would promise certain things, but she wouldn't like follow through. So that's when I started getting used to disappointment. So it's like, even though she might say she'll do something, it's like, she might not end up following through. So it's a mix. I had the healthy side with my non-biological parents, but then with my biological mom, I had that unhealthy side. So when it comes to me, I think the way it ended up affecting me was that I had high functioning anxiety. So I'm always showing up, I'm always doing for others as well. But then
when people let you down, you're not too fussed about it.
And then also I'm going home, I'm having anxiety attacks, I'm stressed, and then I'm overextending myself. I'm not setting boundaries with people, I'm not saying no, because it's like, you're basically taught that when you do something wrong, love will be taken away from you. When like you're shamed.
Repeat that again.
You're taught that when you do something wrong, love will be taken away from you. So like even schools in Ghana, when you get something wrong, you're either like caned or you're getting like licked or what's it called? You're shamed. But we're not realizing that you're showing that anytime that you attempt something and you don't get it right, you're going to be like shunned. By everyone else. So those little things started to make me a people pleaser. So because I don't like feeling shame when I disappoint someone, but it was all those little things that came together to start to build up.
Okay, so that's a lot to digest. Now, with the attachment styles that you've now created, or that you've now adopted, would you have preferred that your biological mum stayed away, or would you prefer that she was in and out?
I would say more stay away, because you know what, up until when I was older, like we had a calm like kind of relationship. I was like, oh, that's my mum, this and the other, but it got a bit more, I think she started to listen to bare different people, so she started to kind of make erratic decisions, because even before I came here,
to England?
Yeah, to England, because I came like 2016. She took me from living with my non-biological parents because someone told her that they were trying to take her away from me. But that was because I didn't want to go to her place, because she kept on taking me to these pastors and they were just saying bare madnesses, and I didn't feel I didn't feel comfortable like being at her place. So I started to not want to go, but my non-biological parents were like, she's your mom, you need to go. So when I was even coming here, she told me I was gonna stay with my grand-auntie, which is like her dad's like sister. And then I came here, went straight to my biological dad. I don't know this man from anywhere, like respectfully. And then also he's Muslim as well, so there was a culture clash and religion clash. And I don't know what she told him about my non-biological parents, because certain times he'll cuss them. And then I'm like, no. Like one thing about me, I don't care if you cuss me up, but when it's people I love, that's when it's kind of like, I don't care if I'm talking back. So there were a lot of arguments and stuff, but it's like, someone's raised your child for how many years and you can cuss them. And the thing is, the way they raised me, I can say for a fact my own biological family members would not have taken care of me like that. Like, and there's like, a lot of the time, you know that family members, when they take care of other people's kids, they don't treat them like their own. There's certain people that don't even know I'm their kid, that I'm not their kid. And it's like just that respect for them, because like, if it wasn't for them, I could have gotten into so many madnesses when I came here, because it was more like, yo, you know what, they raised me up right. I had certain values, so there's certain things I wouldn't have gotten involved in. Like when I came here, I was living in Deptford, so like we're in Deptford Green and everything. Before I came here, I didn't even know what anxiety was, and started to have like heart palpitations and doing research. So before that, I didn't really like understand it. And then also,
when to interrupt you, would you not say that we all suffer from anxiety? Would you say, are there different levels, as far as you're concerned? Because I get anxious. Am I right in saying you get anxious too, Chizzo? Yeah.
Yeah, we all get anxious. The thing is, I probably had anxiety before, but it wasn't that bad for me to go research.
Okay.
So it was the heart palpitations that made me go research and then see that, oh, it's anxiety. And the thing is, anxiety is normal. It has a function. It's to show you when you're in danger. But the problem is, a lot of us have heightened anxiety levels. So when you're even not in danger, your body is responding in a way where you feel like you're in danger. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. It's one of those things where I always say that what you don't know probably can't harm you. So, for instance, if you haven't had a mum around or a dad around, you can sit there and say you don't know what it feels like to have one, but you can see other people who have one.
Yeah.
Now, how healthy would you say your mental health is?
Yeah.
Because we're going to get into the fact that you're a mental health coach, but let's just unravel this and then we're going to get into another discussion. How healthy would you say your mental health is with what you've had to live through with abandonment? Is that the right word to use?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say for me, right now it's pretty good because it's like, and not just because I think I've done the work, like recently I've been through certain things that previously would have triggered me, but it's like, okay, now I know how to regulate myself. Maybe within the moment I might be sad, I might be upset, but then it's like, okay, what can I do like to going forward to put myself in a better position or to improve the situation? And also one thing that I started to do more is, instead of like trying to say it's okay, or just try to push it to the side, it's like, you know what, I'm vexed within this moment, and then actually starting to leave myself to feel the emotion or let it out, then start to move forward. Yeah.
Okay. It said that more people in early 20s out of work from ill health than early 40s. It says people in their early 20s are more likely to be not working due to ill health than those in their early 40s, a report has found. 1 in 20 young people, which is 5%, were economically inactive due to ill health in 2023. In 2021 to 2022, 34% of young people aged 18 to 24 reported symptoms of a mental disorder, such as depression, anxiety, or bipolar disorder. And my question to you is this. That sounds crazy to me that 20-year-olds are suffering from mental health issues more than those in their early 40s. Not saying you know the answer to that, but why do you think that is? Because you're in your early 20s, and why would you suggest that somebody your age is going through more mental trauma than someone my age?
Yeah. Do you know what I think it is what is actually being reported? And even back to my mum, I strongly believe that there's some mental health issues there as well. And a lot of the time within like African households or stuff, we don't name it for what it is because we might not have the language to articulate what's actually going on. So if you look at it, they are probably just suppressing what they're going through to actually like push forward and not take time off. And maybe the only time they'll take time off is when the body's shut down. Then okay, now I actually need a rest. But then now more younger people are saying that, okay, I need to take a rest and actually do the work on myself. But then I think what is happening now is a lot of people are just diagnosing themselves but not doing anything about it. So it's like, oh, I've got ADHD, I've got anxiety, oh, I'm depressed, but there's nothing that's being done to improve it.
Where's the resilience? Because I think the issue I've got with mental health now is like it almost, and I'm trying to pick my words carefully.
They're teaching people just how to cope.
Yeah, it almost seems like not a cop-out.
Yeah.
It's almost like anything that goes wrong, oh my God, mental health, like, no, oh my gosh, no. It's almost like, and don't get me wrong, sometimes I sound insensitive to the younger lot, because I sit there thinking, I'm 40, you're 22, you're 25. I'm like, you guys are young, you can't be going through anything. And am I wrong to, I'm being insensitive, isn't it?
Definitely. Do you know what you've done?
Go on.
You've indirectly picked up the older generation habit. Remember as kids, we used to say to ourselves, when we get older, we're not going to be like them. But now, as we've got older, I've started to see habits in a lot of my friend circles that I'm like, wait, you're just like your mum. You're just like your dad. Without realizing they've picked up a lot of things that they said they would avoid. It's become in them, you know? So it's like their generation is slightly different to ours, where you're saying, what's the reason why a lot of them are going through it?
20-year-olds are going through it more mentally than...
Remember, everything in their generation is a bit heightened with social media and all that. It's in your face all the time. They're seeing different things. They're getting the feeling of, oh, I'm 25 and I'm not a millionaire and I haven't got this and I haven't got that. Whereas us, them days we were just out partying with our friends. We didn't have social media in our face all the time. It was the early days of social media, so we didn't have as much social pressures, you know, like if you was from South, you didn't really know what was happening all the time in Birmingham. Now I know what's happening in Birmingham. I know what next person's doing in Paris. I know what next person's doing in LA, because it's all seconds away.
Do you feel under pressure as a 22-year-old lady? Do you feel under pressure? And I'm saying pressure in an ambiguous way, so you can take that however you wish. Do you feel under a lot of pressure, whether it's to succeed, whether it's pressure in life, or do you feel no? I feel good. And how do you regulate yourself and regulate your emotions?
I'll say for me, it's a bit different because, like, growing up here, like, I moved out when I was 18 to live with my aunt, and then after, when I was pregnant with my son, I moved out by myself. It's like, I kind of had to raise myself up when I was here because of stuff with my dad, so I've always been, like, on job type of thing. So, like, when I was 18, my first job, I was working like 50 hours. I was saving up and stuff.
Wait, say it again.
I was working like 50 hours. And there's a thing where it was like, because I needed to save up, like within about 6 months, I was able to save up about 10K. And it was like, every time I had my paycheck, at a minimum, I'll put down 1K and sometimes 2K, but because I was going to put it into other things, I wanted to invest in stuff. And there's a thing where, because I knew that I'm the only person that's got me, like if anything flops within my life, there's no one that's here I can rely on. Because
how does that make you feel though?
Me, do you know what? It's like.
And how has it made you?
Made me
because
me.
I don't think we excel well in survival mode. And
yeah.
It sounds like, are you still in survival mode?
No. I had to, because
you know what's crazy? He's telling you, oh, I don't think we excel well in survival mode. Bro, you're always in survival mode.
No, but I tell you what, it's not good.
You live in survival mode.
No, but it's not good.
I know it's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good. And she mentioned something that no one having her back. As much as I'm in survival mode, and I always say no one's coming to save you, I've got a good circle of friends that I can fall back on.
Yeah.
So as much as I do get anxiety and I get and I'm stressed, I'm happy that I've got a network to fall back on. I don't know what that is for you.
Yeah.
Like, do you feel you've got that support system now, or not?
For me, if anything, like even then and now, the only people I say last is my non-biological parents, because I know if anything I can go back to Ghana. Like even when I had my son, they did tell me like I can bring him like to Ghana, they'll take care of him, come like go, because they want me to go to uni, but it's like the way I do things, I don't fit into like the curriculum with like the mental health stuff. I learn by myself, I do my own research, so I don't want to go down that route as well. And also because of a lot of like mental health stuff that I do, I want to be intentional about my parenting, and I do know that even though like they're gonna love him, there will still be a feeling of neglect from him by me leaving him with them as well. So
is it a bad decision to do that? So there was a case of where there've been 2 cases recent where I think a guy was sent to Ghana to go and live, and basically tried to file a report or file a court case to try and come back, and they said no, boy, you're gonna stay there. And there's another story that came out the other day where a guy said the best thing that ever happened to him was him being sent back home. Now, do you see that as lazy parenting?
I wouldn't say lazy parenting, but I would say it's not intentional, because a lot of the time, let's say we have these organizations going into schools, working with them, but then the thing is, before that problem was caused within the young person, there was a breakdown in the home. There was a reason why that young person was not feeling loved and cared for. When it comes to the attachment styles that people have, it comes from mostly 0 to, I'll say 7, but more importantly 0 to 2, how you respond to your child. That's when the attachment starts to form, whether they feel secure. So if you're not actually taking time to be intentional about that, that's why later on down the line it's later on down the line it's actually harder, because you've not established that foundation of security. And when it comes to that, they will definitely feel the neglect. They'll definitely feel pushed to the side, and it's not going to help the connection they have with their parent. Because a lot of us have parents that we love, but we have no connection with. Because it's just out of respect. It's just because it's culture within a community. But then, how many people truly say that, you know what, I actually like chilling with my parents?
Good question. I think I've got to understand my mum more now.
Yeah.
So we get on when we're not together for too long. So we need to have our breaks. Okay, but a lot of it is because of how the trauma she's gone through growing up with my dad.
Yeah.
You know, and I say that my dad made my mum the tough woman she is. I don't believe that women are just tough
like
by
that,
nature.
yeah.
I think it's the struggles they go through that make them like that. And you appeared to seem very healthy.
Yeah.
That you, well, this could be an act for the camera. I don't know if this is the true you, but you seem to have taken whatever's happened to you very well.
Yeah.
I don't think many people. Have you got over it?
Yeah. Nah, like bare madnesses.
Okay.
Like literally, and there's a thing where it's how you look at it and process it.